Hey, the stream is live. Look, it just went up. So that means technically right now, this is the very first Nation of Conversation, episode 1. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, people of the wrestling world, friends, foes, enemies, etc. I'm glad to have you here with us. Joined with me, the Stamp Stories, one and only, I have my fellow co-hosts, well, this way, Mike Hollow, aka God Emperor. How do you do?
Hi guys, how we doing? It was a bit of a mess getting here, but we're here now, so we're gonna move forward with the pod.
And joined by my other side is fellow co-host Jay Miller. How do you do to you two?
How we doing, guys? Well, good evening to us all. I don't know, how are we feeling, really?
As far as things go, I'm eager to cover the Raw. I've wanted to talk about New Day. I've wanted to talk about quite a few things, but my week so far has been okay. How's yours been?
Cannot complain. Things have been good on the personal front for the most part. No complaints. I have eagerly been waiting to talk about New Day. We've all been trying to not talk about it too much. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this, sincerely.
Mike, what about you? What are you saying, man?
Yeah, I got some shit to say about New Day. I got some shit to say about it. Right. From last week as well.
Mm-hmm. We're definitely starting from the beginning. We are definitely starting from the beginning. Absolutely.
Fine. Then let's not spend too much time talking about us. Let's get straight into it. This will be the Raw recap. Gentlemen, I don't know who wants to go first, so I'm going to put it to Jay Miller first because, as I understand it, the New Day is your favorite tag team. How do you feel about today's events? Go for it.
Okay, well, wait. We're not starting from the beginning. We're going straight to today.
No, let's start at the beginning. Let's start at the beginning. I
think we definitely need to start from the very beginning. So by the beginning, we mean the breakup, right? Mm-hmm. So we all agreed it needed to happen or was going to happen. I think it's no secret there. So that's fair enough and fine. None of us were ready for what went down. I personally think it was a great execution. I do. It was very powerful for me. It was very effective they knew what they were going for. And at least if you're connected to them, it definitely hit you one way or another. It either made you feel horrid for Big E, or it made you feel like, wow, this is all being said, huh? Like, okay, this is the route we're going down. It made you question so much, you know? And
I don't like Hollow's facial features right now.
Oh no. We know that. We know what we'll get
we know, but they don't know. So I'm right now. I'm reading him and I don't like it.
But at least for me personally, it definitely made me feel very strongly about it. And they got what they wanted. And as we can see through this week as well, it was sincerely, they got what they wanted and then some. Maybe even too much, possibly. Who knows? But okay. Yeah, that's what I've got to say about the initial breakup. We'll continue. Carry on.
Right, Hollow. Before I step in and what? Yeah, go on. Let it off.
You let it go on, because you're gonna. Yeah, go on.
So the initial breakup to me, when I'm watching wrestling, I want to be invested in the storylines. They need to make sense. When it's like a fantastical character like Undertaker, I don't mind them taking liberties, but the New Day's gimmick and their characters are very much based in reality. And when I was watching it, everything they were saying was so unrealistic that it took me out of the moment. Now, I will acknowledge that they have gotten the heat they were looking for, because I haven't seen people booed like this since Dominic Mysterio basically jumped on the scene. So the heat that they were looking for, they got it. But the way they got there was arse backwards. Like, your boy has broken his neck and he's trying to make ends meet. So he takes a commentary position and you're saying, where were you? I'm sorry, like, did we not just almost see Big E die on TV? And that's your boy, and you've all been there for each other for 10 years. I tried to put myself in that situation. I was like, do I have any friends that would react this way? And the answer was no. So it took me out of the moment because I was like, everything they're saying is unjustified. These are grown men. I get Big E's like almost the enforcer of their group, but no one talks like that. So I was taken out of it. I was like, this is dumb. Big E is being thrown under the bus for no reason.
I'm stuck on something. Did you describe the New Day as realistic?
Yeah, they're real people. Like
you mean the guy who pulls out pancakes out of his trunks and stuffs them other people's realistic? People who come out
that's them being goofy. But we know goofy guys, right? Their gimmick is to be goofy, but their friendship is based in reality.
I'm going to let you finish. But once Stamp finishes his point as well, I'll say something in. I'll have a counterpoint.
Even Boy Man Big, look, even they look like they didn't believe what they were saying. It looks like
Kofi, especially. Fair enough. I agree with that. Kofi, especially. No, Xavier did, and he made very fair points. Kofi, it was more forced. Absolutely, I agree with that part. But go on. I want you to get to your point. And
we need Kofi to get Kofi. None of us, let's all agree on this. None of us foresaw Kofi also turning. Even though there were little signs when people pointed out on Twitter, or X, I should say, little signs of, oh, look, Kofi's got this particular thing. It's the sign for this. None of us saw this coming. Now, I agree with you that when I hear Kofi talk, it doesn't quite sound the same double down heel as Xavier, who's been doing it for a few weeks now. But I want to give Kofi some time to just settle into it. Even this still you've shown me here looks like, y'all really reacting like this. You know what? I'm really gonna go south with this now. This is 10 years of me being happy-go-lucky and and now when I decide to do something for myself, y'all ain't backing me. You thought I was bad with Big E in his neck. Watch what I'm gonna do now. Watch what I'm gonna do. Is that your boy over there? I'm gonna jump him too.
It doesn't make sense. That's the only problem. I don't mind Kofi being a heel. Kofi being a heel is good. It's good they finally got heat on him. My issue is with how they've gotten here. I don't know any grown men that would talk to their boy like that after he's just almost died. So for me, I was like, okay, the New Day is going down a different road, and that's fine. But I can't get on board with it. I can't get on board with that idea. Shouts to IC.
Listen, I think the New Day were right. The New Day. One, are they going to have a new name? Two, are they going to come out with a new theme?
They have to.
The new theme, it almost feels like a given. They can't do that. Even if they just slow it down, but they're a bit more creative than more often than not. So I would expect them to do something a bit more than that, but we'll see.
They have to come out with a new theme because doesn't Big E start the whole entrance? Like it's the New Day. Yeah. You can't have that anymore. Otherwise, you could do that if you want to be even bigger pricks and just use his name after you've thrown him under the bus.
St. Louis, don't you dare be sour. Clap for your boy. Yeah, come on. Listen, they did nothing wrong. Come on.
If they did nothing wrong, why are they getting booed?
I haven't got a smart answer for that right now.
Yeah, you don't.
If they're getting booed, they're getting that kind of heat because what they did was so asinine and just devoid of logic that you have to boo them now. There's no two ways about it. Nobody would treat their friends like that.
Honestly speaking,
not given a true reason. Well, at least they've not been able to give a true reason just yet.
God, that's my stance on it. For the first part of that whole scenario, and then just looking at Big E, I was thinking to myself, if I could reach through the monitor right now, I'd strangle both of them for Big E's sake. So I guess they kind of accomplished what they were.
Yeah, they absolutely did. They absolutely did. That's exactly what they were going for. They wanted that.
Yeah, but just to acknowledge, they're being booed because they are the arseholes in this situation. Yeah, everyone's saying they didn't do anything wrong. They are the biggest pricks on the planet, and they deserve exactly what they get right now.
Mm-hmm. Now, this actually, wait. You've not. I want you to have your piece as well, Stamp, before I get into the worry I have.
I love the fact that those boos were astronomically hefty, and they couldn't talk. And like you said, I haven't heard that since Dominic Mysterio. I did hard time, and I haven't heard that since Roman after being Undertaker, and he just went in the ring. And they're like, boo, boo, and then eventually, this is my yard now. Boo! I was like, oh, this is nuclear. Keep going, yeah. I love that. So I myself, I'm really looking forward to the next few Raws. Right now, in my mind, where my biggest concern might have been Judgment Day, etc. Now I'm like, I want to see what New Day's doing. They're my focus. show me New Day first. What's going on with New Day? You've now taken what was a tag team that was just, yeah, cool, we're doing this, happy, good, lucky, etc. And to, I want to know what the latest is with New Day. That's 2 weeks in a row now. I want to see next week, how does this unfold further? You put it as the focal front point for Raw for me. That's what I want to say.
But I think I want to see it because I just want to hear what bullshit's going to come out of their mouths. There's nothing justifiable that can come out of their mouths for what they did to their boy. If I broke my neck and my boys did that to me, they better hope that my neck stays broken, because if I recover, there's going to be beef, which I hope is what Big E does. I hope he challenges them both and beats them.
Listen, if Mike breaks his neck, I'll be right there in the hospital. Oh, I'm so sorry, man, etc., etc. You know that YouTube channel, yeah? I got dibs on that, right? I'll take over. Don't worry. Good hand. Listen, everyone, Mike is in this, Mike is in that. It's all about me. I was there behind it all along. And then, well, if he gets better, I've got to start running, but that makes good content. As far as things go, you're right. It's absolutely dickish of them, but it's making good TV, in my opinion.
That's what they were going for. The only thing that I do worry about is whether this is actually genuinely good heat, which I'm assuming it is. This is the warrior in me, I guess. Yes. I just hope it's not legit go away heat. The only reason why I think, oh, wait, hold on a minute, is when they literally left, but they were getting cheered. That part is like, ooh, that's worrisome. Like that should be over-worrying, maybe, hopefully. But yeah, that's the only thing why I think, I hope they do actually get to reach to their reasoning for it, because if it only ends up being a case where we get several weeks and they don't get to actually proceed, then that could be a point of concern. But hopefully I'm just over-worrying over nothing.
You're worried over nothing. It's like Dom. Eventually, he gets out what he wants to say. He'll find a way to do it. There will be a way. And right now, you want a segment where a tag team that was just whatever we're now the prime story point. The crowd hates us. So that means more than anything, you want the crowd to react to you, whether it's cheers or boos. Absolutely. They are acknowledging you. And right now, they've got maximum acknowledgement. We haven't had this in quite a while for the New Day. So I don't feel like it's go away. We don't care about you. You're not interested in it. I hate you for what you did. We love Big E. We love the New Day. And as far as I'm concerned, if I see you, I'm booing you. And it's like, oh, give me more of this. Give me more of this.
Yeah. Well, they got the heat they wanted. So it is entertaining TV. I'll be honest. It's just the logic getting there. I'm all on Big E side.
Right, so I'm not going to call you out, but my guy literally said it was a 2 out of 10 segment, which is crazy. But I get it. In terms of the logic standpoint, I feel you. In terms of just the audacity of Kofi, although he couldn't legitimately say it to his face, which who knows, maybe he just couldn't believe it himself and couldn't look at him directly saying it, whereas Xavier could. Actually, that's something I wanted to speak on. Like with Xavier's reasoning and his breakdown on all of this, it was believable, especially the line in which he said, "Do you not think you've been a burden?" Like, oh, we all miss Big E. We miss him too. That's all very believable. That part, if you cut out Kofi's like, so what? Like, yeah, that's just like, really? Like, yeah, that can take you out. Or like, they're doing that solely to get to the destination of, we want to be hated. You can ignore that part. You can switch that part out. Well, you can't, but you get it. Like, in terms of the things that are being said and why, and the other things that were said, they were believable. They were like, in terms of having a trio, as we've all agreed upon, and the Magic not being there because an important part. Well, if you take out any one of them, it's always going to be hurtful, right? But you get to that point where it's like you've got two people trying to carry something on, and it's clearly never going to be the same as it stands. Yeah, like in terms of that particular part, it's like, yeah, you can get that. We miss him too. They miss him the most, obviously. So
Kofi hasn't got a real reason, but
Kofi, Xavier's conviction / delivery / everything has been on point. Kofi's yet we've not seen everything yet. So I agree with that. We've only seen the fact that the thing with him is he's the least person you'd expect it from, and we've not seen his reasoning or his execution of why yet. So
has Kofi ever been heel? Ever?
No. Other than actually legitimately joining up a New Day, no. But New Day were heels to begin with.
Yeah, they were originally.
How long has he been in the company, roughly? Any idea? Like, are we talking
over a decade?
At least a decade. At least
over a decade easily. I don't know exactly how long, but over a decade easily.
About 12 years, I think.
Okay, fine. Listen, we've unpacked this. We're all looking forward to the New Day and how this continues to unfold for Raw. We're all going to pay attention. If as a closing note, should I say this? I'm going to say it. I'm not really desperate to see Biggie's girlfriend make noise on Twitter about nah. I'm like, listen, you're not involved.
That's social media. That's not really a part of anything. It's whatever.
I know, but it's now turning off on my algorithm.
I'm here for it. She's a ride or die. She made them. She made them Aggie and Saltfish
to mute and move along with your life. It's fine.
I am there for it. If that was my girl, I'd say yeah, stick it on them. You know, you've been making them Aggie and Saltfish. You've been inviting them over, cooking for them, cleaning after them, for them to do that to you. Nah, man, fuck all that. You're about to hear from me and the whole family.
Oh yeah, wait. Mike, do you remember where we were having our discussion previously about this? And I was like, listen, right, there's not a chance in hell that I was adamant about this too. There's not a chance in hell that they weren't up in the hospital doing this, doing that. You were like, we don't know that. I'm like, in terms of me versus what we were saying to each other, right? In terms of belief, it's like, no, listen, I don't need to see that to know full well. Like, we damn well know they were up in the hospital bed. Of course they were visiting him. Of course they care about him. And then, you know, that's where, in terms of the don't insult my intelligence with this so what nonsense. Like, you felt a type of way about that, clearly, and you should. That's exactly it. So it's like, with wrestling, unfortunately, depending on how they want to go about their execution, we have to go along with it. Like, we're not in control of that. We just have to digest whatever way they choose to go about some things. Whereas other things is like, listen, whatever. Like, if they try to go the whole thing of, oh, you never visited me in the hospital bed or whatever, I'm like, I don't believe that either. So it's like, it all just depends on how they want to go about things.
We've unpacked it. We've seen it from all the angles. We will see next Raw, next Monday, how this unfolds. Now I want to bring another point to both of you, right? Return of Drew McIntyre. Going for Sammy. Does anyone...
Drew's my guy, and he's justified in everything that he's doing.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Nothing he said is wrong. Like, he went home, was with his family, turns on the TV, sees more snakes. Because let's just face it, I like Sammy, but he's a bit wishy-washy right now.
Whoa.
I don't know if he's wishy-washy. I don't think he's wishy-washy.
Come on, guys. Think about listen, Roman's my tribal chief, okay? But let's talk about this realistically.
Honorary Oos. You don't call the honorary Oos wishy-washy.
Yeah, but
I don't think he's wishy-washy. I think he's consistent.
No, in terms of this story with Roman and the bloodline, everything that's happened to Sammy, for him to come back, I was just looking at it from my point of view. If I was a part of a family or a faction like that, and I got done dirty the way Sammy did, because he really got done dirty, I would not be going back to it. And as somebody looking from the outside in, after what Roman had done to me, right? Let's say I'm Drew McIntyre, to watch all of that unfold and then see Cody and Sammy and CM Punk all aligning with this guy that basically terrorized WWE for 4 years. I, as Drew McIntyre, be like, yeah, I'm going to kill all of you for this. So he's justified.
No. Drew's like one of the most sensible characters going out there. Like, I really enjoy his character. Although what you're saying about Sammy, I feel basically tenfold about Jay, if I'm honest. Other than, okay, they're legit his family. The amount of times in which they have ultimately cost him, Roman still hasn't really changed it in any damn way to make it make sense for me personally. If they're gonna there's things we have to just digest and accept, and that's what I'm having to do. You talk
about his tribal chief like that.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm gonna be so real. Okay, this is the one thing where, you know how we said that we were gonna be that doesn't make sense. Like, Jay, like, how you feel about Sammy? Jay has had it so much worse.
But
is that not true?
No, but the problem is, the only issue with that is that they have gone out of their way to show Jimmy, Jay, and Roman as kids, so they've grown up. So I'm assuming when you're growing up with other guys, you fight, and they're just fighting on TV now. So with that, I can be like, okay, Jimmy and Jay, Roman's their blood. He might have done fucked up things to them, but I'm sure things have happened in their tribe out off of TV. Whereas Sammy he's a new guy, really. He's only really been there for like 2 years with the bloodline. And for what Roman did to him, it doesn't have the same. He can't say, oh, they're family in the same way Jimmy and Jay can. So with Jimmy and Jay coming back, I'm like, yeah, okay. Because I've had family members in my own life where like the relationship has been extremely strained, but in certain circumstances we have to band together. So that I can accept. Sammy, I can't really accept it. It feels more like he's being a bit wishy-washy, which is why I understand why Seth and Drew are both pissed at him.
We will agree to disagree.
Seth and Drew being pissed at Sammy absolutely makes sense. Both of those guys are more than justified. I don't consider him wishy-washy, though. I will say that.
It's safe to say we all three of us in unison appreciate Drew McIntyre's return. It has been a few months. We do see him as top tier talent, and it's good to have him back. He can talk, he can move, he's got the full package. So I'm happy to see him back. I'm not mad at him fighting Sammy because I feel like that's going to be a good match. They're both very competent, very awesome wrestlers. They both know the ring in and out. I'm looking forward to Saturday's main event.
Drew has to go over though. Drew has to win that fight. He's just come off a loss to CM Punk in Hell in a Cell. Sammy is like, Sammy's a draw, obviously, but I feel like Drew McIntyre is a World Heavyweight Championship draw, and I don't think it's going to do any favors for anyone if Drew loses and Sammy wins.
I see where you're going there. To continue the story of Drew returning and what that can lead to in terms of bloodline back and forth, Drew would have to win and say, right, I've taken one down. Jimmy and Jay, one of you two, you're next. And then it gets obviously bigger and bigger. So I'm not mad at that. That's the hard thing when there's two wrestlers in a match and you both want them to go over, but one has to lose in order to continue the story and whatnot. It hurts.
It's pretty self-explanatory, and it's an easy winner. It's not like going to be a glorified squash match, I don't think, but the win is relatively obvious.
Okay. Allow me to talk to you both about Final Testament, Karrion Kross. A little, for those of you who don't know, in the background, one of you two, I can't remember who, was selling me on Karrion Kross. You're liking what he's like, etc. And truth be told, I haven't been able to watch Raw properly because I've only had the WWE Network and all the episodes are a month behind. So I haven't been able to follow Raw on a month-by-month basis properly and be invested in these storylines. But now that I'm watching these recaps on X, and again, Netflix next year means I can watch Raw in real time or, within a few hours after it's aired. I want to be invested in this. I heard the way Karrion spoke to my man Miz about, you're not finished here. You don't get to use us as mount. You're with us now. I was like, sorry. Nikki Cross, is that her name?
Nikki Cross, yeah. She's doing a pretty good job.
She is quick segment. Of all the women in the WWE, who would you like to date?
Who would I like to date?
I will start. I would like to go on a date. If I could choose, right? And I've thought about this for a minute. You two haven't thought about this. I haven't prepped you for this.
Yeah, you did blindsided me.
Shayna Baszler.
Okay.
Yes. I followed her I've seen her from NXT days. She's a legitimate threat. She can talk. She can fight. I like her. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of her in I know they've got their other group in Raw with Zoe Stark and Sonya, I think. But I'm looking forward to see more of that. Shayna, the reason I say that is just I'm sold on Shayna. Now, I don't mean to go off topic too much.
But why date her? What's that got to do with dating her?
So I shouldn't say dating, just go on a date, just a one-off date with her and be like, listen, let me talk to you. I want to understand, just give me more. I think as in go out with them and just interview them. No, like let me take you out on a meal, let's walk across the river, like listen, tell me all your dreams and hopes and all that kind of stuff. Like, come on, I'll help you there. Listen, you want me to jump that guy? I'll jump that guy for you. You want me to jump over this bridge? I got you, I'm on it.
I'm pretty sure if Shayna Baszler can look after herself.
But she's got a backup. Okay, she can look after herself, no doubt. But now she's got a pawn to throw, like, you, Levi, go do it. Yes, sir, or yes, ma'am, or whatever she wants to go by. Have you two got someone you're like, you know what? That's my girl right there.
I'm a big fan of Io Sky and Kairi Sane. So if I had to choose, those are my. I want Io to become the world champion, and I want Kairi to become a world champion. I think the things that they've done in WWE and outside of the promotion are incredible. Kairi, especially, like just the way she moves around the ring. Either one of them though, Kairi or Io.
Would you blend well with Io or Kairi on a date, or would it be like, nah, this don't work, man?
I don't know. I feel like I can talk to anyone, but I don't know what their personalities are like. I literally have no idea. They seem like nice girls that you could probably just chat to them, but I don't know. This question kind of blindsided me.
Personas of them, though, the damage control personas.
Well, they're a bit psychotic, isn't it? So I don't know. I'd have to run for cut. Maybe Kairi. Io seems like
Kairi's just she's a straight out face, man.
All right, Mike has answered the question, so now I'm gonna turn to you, Jay, big man. Who?
Okay. So one's left, so they don't count.
You can't use someone else that someone's used.
No. Don't worry about Bailey.
Yeah. I see you. Okay. Why Bailey? Give us an answer.
I mean, she's amazing. Like, what else is there? She's selfless. She's amazing. She's a 100% a company woman. I can't say I know her personally, obviously, but she comes across as a very caring and nurturing type. And what is there not to appreciate about her, really? Like, she's very much looked upon as one of the women who can carry the division, but is selfless at basically every turn. What is there not to appreciate about that? Like, I have nothing bad to say about her at all.
Obviously that's my fault. I've steered us away from the Final Testament, but which one of you two was it that was really speaking highly of Karrion Kross?
I want to believe that was a conversation between you and Mike. I don't disagree with the sentiments. They have gotten a lot better as a group. Having them actually do effective things alongside being able to stand up to the Wyatt Six as well, obviously also helps. It does diminish Wyatt Six, which I, again, don't want to have them be a thing where Wyatt Six start off strong, they start off great, and then they plummet off the face of the earth. Obviously, one loss isn't plummeting off the face of the earth. It's not. It's just it's a weird one. Like, do you know how you feel about Sami Zayn and Drew in terms of one has to lose ultimately in a match? Mm-hmm. But Wyatt Six and New Testament, it's possibly even a bigger thing because both essentially need the momentum, you know? So losing is losing. It's not exactly the end of the world, but because with the Wyatt Six, it's just like, oh, are they losing too soon? Is that a thing to be worried about? Yes or no? Like, but the Final Testament also need to have a reason to care about them as well, because for the longest time there was that thing where they were a presence, but they weren't doing much of anything, and there wasn't as much reason to care until they started really homing in on this gimmick that they have, and it's been consistent, it's been good. So yeah, you know.
Mike.
I'm a big fan of Karrion Kross. I think on the mic, he's great. I like the way he shifts between psychotic and calm. I think him and Scarlett as a duo is perfect. I personally don't think he needs Final Testament in the long run. I think, if anything, they're going to hinder him. That's not really a slight on them. I just think it's a little bit of clash of styles. I think he's too bright of a star, and he's going to overshadow them eventually. And Scarlett apparently can also go in the ring, so it'll be good to see her in that position at some point. But yeah, I'm of the mindset that Karrion Kross can go all the way to the world title. I would have given this win to him as well. Everybody was saying, oh, they're burying the Wyatts, but the Wyatts are like a supernatural team. I don't feel like they're as reliant on wins because they're a pack. They're not like the Undertaker or Kane where you're fighting a singular monster. When you beat one of the Wyatts, you don't really beat the Wyatts, right? You got to take everyone out. So I don't feel like wins are that big of a deal for them. Obviously, in time, if they keep on losing, it's going to become a problem. But I think picking Karrion Kross to go over, especially with all the good mic work he's been doing, I see no problem with it.
I'm glad you talked about it that way, because I didn't think of them that way. But a supernatural team where they don't really need titles to be to stand out from a crowd is just, oh, these lot are a problem. And I was going to ask you guys, in your opinion, who is the most dominant? I know it's a buzzword they like using a lot, but who is the most dominant group in Raw right now? It's not really Judgment Day as much anymore, really, is it?
Most dominant group. It's probably gonna be Final Testament, right?
So
presently, it's still Judgment Day. They have the titles, whatever, but ultimately they're presented as chicken shit heels, etc.
And we haven't really
had it, but they've not really had to defend much of anything. They've not done all that much. They've just really held the titles for the most part.
I'm interested to see the dynamic of if and when Judgment Day crosses past with either Final Testament or the Wyatt Six. Is that going to be the same kind of war like we originally got when it was the Wyatt family and the Shield going up on either sides of the ring? We're like, oh shoot, this is huge. We've not had these two cross paths before. So Roman and Bray Wyatt, etc. I don't
still
think
too
we'll
early
get that.
to say.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get that right now. But I'm all for Wyatt Six continuing to grow, Final Testament grow, except SmackDown. Can we cover that for a quick moment?
Yes, go.
Yeah.
Kevin versus Cody build up. How do y'all feel about it right now? Are you invested at all, or?
Yeah, very, very invested.
I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think Kevin is completely justified in what he's doing. He especially when they did that video package of showing what Roman had done to him, and then Kevin taking beatings for Cody week in and week out, to then see your friend teaming up with again. This is my tribal chief. I'm not trying to rag on him, but he terrorized SmackDown and Raw for 4 years, right? And then you see your boy helping him, and you're like, why? What are you doing here? Like you could have left. In theory, you could have left Roman to drown. You could have had Solo's bloodline beat him down, but he decided to help him, and it doesn't make sense. Like again, looking at this from like a realistic standpoint, if one of my boys has been getting terrorized by this guy for 4 years and he's been helping me and taking beatings, and then I go and team with him, I wouldn't be surprised if I got a knife in the back. So I actually want Kevin to win the title. I don't mind them putting it back on Cody and making it a transitional thing, but I don't think there's anything wrong with putting a title on Kevin, especially because it's not one of those situations where it's unfathomable to think that Cody could lose this. Kevin's a legit, like, he was the prize fighter at one point. So yeah, I'm all on Kevin's side.
Ago, unfortunately,
it was, but I feel like they're tapping back into that more psychotic.
Yeah, they could be. I don't think they'll do that before Mania, but I hear you. I hear you.
Can Kevin beat Cody?
Yes,
I would say so. Like, it's believable, absolutely. The only unjustifiable thing that Kevin did was attack Randy. That was paranoia.
Is Saturday main event this upcoming Saturday, or is it another week away or something like that?
I don't. Let me check.
Yeah,
I'm not entirely sure.
Because what I want to do is, before Saturday main event happens, let's take predictions for each match. Who do we think this will win? This will win. This will win, and then obviously we'll review it afterwards and say how close were we with our predictions.
It's this Saturday coming.
Shoot. Okay. Then on the second episode of this, I will obviously pull up the card and say, right, this person, who you got winning, who you got going over, etc. Let us not forget. I think I'll save that for a little bit later on. Money in the Bank. There's only one of those that hasn't been cashed in just yet, and that's Tiffy time.
And she literally has, or she might, who knows, she might even be going over as a US champion, so maybe.
Put both titles on Tiffy, man. She's good.
Have we ever seen it be cashed in on a lesser top title?
Yeah, Austin Theory tried to.
Yeah.
On a different title and he didn't get it.
It was on the US title, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. Well, that's different.
Can we just talk about the women's division real quick with this whole Tiffany cash-in? Because at War Games, they had the perfect opportunity to do something we would have never have seen before. And during the War Games match, you had Liv and Nia there. I would have, if I was Triple H, I would have called an audible. I would have said, listen, Nia's throwing the most weak-ass chair shots we've ever seen in our lives. Take that title off her, put it on Tiffy. I would have cashed in there and then and pinned Nia. And then you would have had this dynamic where the match isn't over because they're both on the same team, but she's cashed in. she's the new women's champion. They need to finish the match. That would have been real interesting, but they didn't pull the trigger, and I was like, oh.
Does that confuse the matchup too much? Like, okay, we've just ding, 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 you've won the title. Like, how do you in real time explain to everyone? I was like, what now? What now? What now? Would that be too much in the moment?
Wait, hold on. Technically, right? Is it it's not an elimination match though, is it? Or is it?
No. Once everyone's in the cage.
I mean, technically, I mean, if they had done it at a different time, then I guess that would end the match.
Whoever pins wins, but it's one of those where, let's say it's a regular triple threat match, Money in the Bank runs in, it becomes a fatal 4-way. By cashing that in, you've just activated all these potential threats becoming women's champion out of nowhere in case that pinfall gets broken up.
Right.
That's why
we're assuming that the pinfall is just like this. She
and I don't think we've really had a cash in on a tag team match before, so I guess that's a bit confusing. See what would happen. We've not seen
if you're pulling that trigger, you're pulling that trigger. Like there's no kick out. There's no kick out. Like it just wouldn't make sense because an irritated Nia. Listen, I know. You're pinning her and she's not waking up. Like that simple.
I do think it's time to take the title off her though. Like I think her second comeback has been pretty good.
It's been good.
Her performance in the War Games just took me out of it. I was like, come on. I was furious watching that shit. It didn't happen once, it didn't happen twice, it didn't happen 3 times. It kept happening over and over. And I know there were botches across the board, but she's the women's champion, so she's the leader in the locker room at that point in time. She's the captain that's steering the ship. You need to be better than that. And she's been there long enough that, you know, you kind of know how to work things. I mean, even when I used to play wrestle with my brothers, we knew that, oh, okay, I'm not going to hit you that hard. But when he would sway one way, I'd be like, I'm just going to swing like that. It's not that, it can't be that difficult. It was so painful to watch as a wrestling fan. I was like, nah, get the title off her, man.
Maybe I'm giving her too much leeway, but I get the whole, she's been depicted as clumsy before and she wants to avoid injuries because, you know, we've already got injuries now. We've obviously got Jimmy and Bronson Reed, but not because of someone else's actions, but just the big giving up your body to do such a great spot. I sympathize for Nia. I'm not mad at her.
On this occasion,
not mad at Hollow with that.
Like, I get exactly where Mike's coming from on this one, and this was probably her biggest blunder in terms of her second comeback. Her comeback's been really good. Like, I wasn't really for her being all back and everything. No one was, right? Or most people weren't. She has clearly improved, so I will definitely give her a due. I'm not gonna just suddenly take that away from her. That said, yeah, the things that did happen were rough, to say the least. So I can acknowledge that too.
Let's watch this space closely. If that performance keeps happening on a week-by-week basis, right, you need more practice, etc., training, whatever. But I want to give her the benefit of the doubt just because she was very cautious of not injuring anyone this early in the game. And then, hold on, your spot at this point is now kind of out of it because you're injured. But maybe I'm too nice. Maybe I like Nia. I don't know.
She hurt the product, in my opinion. Like, I get trying to protect people, but those chair shots, they were so horrendous that I tried to make concessions for people because I know performing in front of a live crowd is difficult. But that was especially hard to watch. And as somebody that is trying to get invested in it, we all know that it's choreographed and that it's predetermined, but we get into the moment and we enjoy it. Those sort of things take you out of it. It's like, okay, even though I know this isn't real, now I don't. It's like imagine watching Dragon Ball Z and Goku and Vegeta start stuttering. You're like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, we know it's not real, but what are you doing?
Okay, Nia, if you're somehow watching this, we've given you the benefit of the doubt. Go again.
No, you have.
You know, that's fine. Next topic: Shinsuke title run. How do we feel? Okay,
all right.
Yeah.
Presentation immaculate. The way he came out at Survivor Series, it was awesome. Like, and I got to see the behind the scenes with Triple H on this. That looked great. And if they continue down this road of this whole, like, I don't know if he's like an undead samurai or something. He's messed with juju. It looks sick. Like the whole black mist thing he's got going on. I'm here for it.
You want to jump me? Try me.
I enjoyed that. Yeah. And Barty obviously being the one who's like, I'm considering. Nope, don't do it. Don't do it. Leave him be. But I liked all of that. That was all solid. That was all good.
Could we class this as the US title run going on a bit of a dark streak now? And then someone's going to come along and say, I'm bringing prestige back. The US title shouldn't be about all this darkness and I'm going to make it great again. Like, does it feel like Shinsuke is taking it down that path, or is it just happens to be on this person?
I mean, Cena's coming
back. It
back.
depends on if they really want to have LA Knight like just take it off of him.
That's a good name, Cena.
No. I would draft LA Knight to Raw now, and I would put him in the IC title picture, just because I think that picture is pretty cool. But there's only so many times Ludwig and Sheamus and Braun can fight. Need somebody else for Braun, and Braun's good on the mic. So is LA Knight. I think they could do something cool there. I don't want Shinsuke to drop the title because I feel like Shinsuke's been pretty hard done in the WWE, even though he's won the Royal Rumble. Absolutely. Yeah, even though he's had titles put on him, Shinsuke is like a generational talent. Like if you watch this shit in Japan, he's incredible. He's world championship material. So let him go on a long ass run and leave him alone.
Like you know what? Let me not go down yesterday. We can talk about that another week. But what you're saying, I agree with, but on even more of a level, it's actually ridiculous how another day for that one.
Another day. Okay, let's just say this, right? He is back. Triple H is the one calling the shots. I think we're seeing now a different era of who can be champion and why and how it unfolds. Now, granted, not everyone's going to get the golden opportunity. It's still going to be people who are just like, it was a Triple H era. You're all saying everyone's getting opportunities. Well, I tried this, it didn't work for me. I'm sorry. You're just getting more, there's more likely chance for you, but it's not guaranteed. So I like Shinsuke introduced it. So wait.
You sound like an AEW fan.
We're gonna get onto that last, right? That's there. That's there. We're getting onto that last, right? I don't want to sound like I sound like me. Now, if I sound coincidentally like an AEW fan, let me just say, I ain't got nothing to say about that, man. I'm not an AEW fan. That's it. But ultimately, to wrap it up, I'm happy with Shinsuke returning. I'm happy with the title run. I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. Whoever takes it off him as and when, he has been done dirty. He has won this. Okay, we'll see. Right. Before we jump onto the controversy that is AEW in itself, women's division, we've said about Nia Jax. Are you still happy? Because there's a lot of noise on X and other various social medias about we're tired of seeing Rhea Ripley go after Liv Morgan. I'm okay. I'm not tired of it, but maybe that's because I haven't watched it every week and just seen it over and over. How do you two feel? Are you tired of it?
I'm a bit bored of it. I'll be honest. Like, yeah, they're both great. I am a bit bored of it. Obviously, injuries happened as well, prolonging it. I don't know whether I don't know whether they planned for it to be as long as this. Maybe they did. We will never know now, but I am a bit bored of it. I like both of them. I don't think them fighting is a bad thing. Am I bored of that particular story and feud and how long it's been going on for at this point? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Mike? So Io's got the crowd on her side. Obviously, you guys would know I'm an Io stan. I'll ride for my girl. But I think that you swerve everyone and you put the title on Io. Let Io beat Liv, because there's also a relationship there with Io and Rhea. And I think that you can pivot the story now. Like the whole thing with Dominic is done. Dominic's going off and doing his own stuff now. He's been fighting Gunther. Liv is good. They haven't really sold me on her being world heavyweight champion. It's been a little bit of a hard sell for me, and the story's gone on for too long. So I think with Io's popularity, the fact that she has chemistry with Rhea and that there is a friendship there clearly, and they could use something and maybe even turn into a triple threat thing going into Mania, and then have Rhea go over. You don't need the title and Liv anymore. Doesn't make any sense. Rhea's not interested in Dominic. She's moved on from that. It's a bit of a mess. It's just gone on for too long. It's time to... Yeah.
Does introducing Raquel Rodriguez into the storyline spice things up, or is it still the same stack of behavior?
No. She's already been flattened this week. Well, Rhea flattened her. It was a good fight. There was a lot of chaos, but Rhea's beaten her. So as a bodyguard, she's already taken out of it. I think that you go Io Sky. Io Sky she's the popular pick right now. She won everyone over at War Games again. And I'm tired of Rhea and Liv, man. It's too much.
I'm tired of that. Rodriguez hasn't managed to do anything of real note since coming back, which is sad. Her character for me is just okay.
Tacked onto the Judgment Day that's been played out a little bit, so it's undersold her. But
I don't. That's not even me knocking her as her character or performer. I wish I cared. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, previously she's been babyface, so her coming back as attachment to the Judgment Day as a heel, I haven't felt it.
All right. Real talk. As a character, right? What has she done?
She's strong. She's but
that's exactly it. That's exactly my point. And it's not a slight on her as a performer or whatever. It's just they've managed, although she's been there for a good while now, like they've not given us a sincere reason to care about her yet somehow, which I don't understand. But
okay, I'm gonna pay more attention to her because I want to see if she needs something. And obviously Judgment Day's a quick heat as a result of being associated with this group, but herself, just give me a reason to care about her.
Zero aura, bruv. That is the problem with Raquel Rodriguez. It's not that she's bad in the ring, because she's not. She has no aura whatsoever, and she just feels like a lesser Rhea Ripley, like a much, much lesser. She's a big muscle woman. They already had their beef down at NXT. They had beef when they came to Raw and SmackDown. They're having beef again, and Rhea just keeps on going over. So for me, it's like it's done. Rhea's flattened this woman. She needs to move on to someone else. And the thing with Rhea is that they've sort of built her up to almost be able to take on some of the guys. So now they need to come up with creative ways for the other female wrestlers to beat her. I still stand on Io's much smaller than her. She can use her size and her technique in a different way, because you're not going to match power for power with Rhea. She's shown that she can deal with some of the guys. So she's flattened her. Liv clearly can't beat Rhea clean on her own. That is overplayed. We don't care about Dominic anymore. Just pivot the story. Like, wrestling fans are not so stupid that they'll be like, "Oh, what are they doing?" It's fine. Like, you just go in a different direction.
Okay. Fine. Let's transition over to our AEW segment where, Hollow, I know you have some choice words that you wish to express. I want to give you the floor to express yourself as you see fit, but I have to keep you in check if you go too off the rails. So be cool, bro. Go ahead.
No. Well, I mean, we can't play the Eric Bischoff clip because the audio is not working. But basically, in that clip, Eric Bischoff was saying that AEW is a failed product. It's hard to watch. The storylines are rubbish. They don't know how to sort of like make things important. Like, you know, when Kevin Owens power drivered Randy Orton, it was like an oh my god moment because it's a banned move. You go over to AEW, they're power driving each other in every other move. It's like they're flipping off something. You're completely taken out of it. And they call AEW the place that the best wrestle. And there was a time where I was like, yeah, they actually do have a lot of amazing talent over there. But AEW from 3-4 years ago, or I think about 3 years ago, and AEW now are drastically different. I'm completely taken out of almost everything they're doing. Orange Cassidy and John Moxley is not, doesn't feel believable to me at all. Orange Cassidy, no disrespect to him, but the whole hands in the pocket thing, I'm just like, come on, man, am I 10 years old? Like, it's too much. Then you got Darby Allin, who seems to be on a collision course every single day. Like, he seems like he just wants to hurt himself. His stunts are so over the top that I don't understand why there's nobody backstage saying, can you stop? Like, you're gonna kill yourself. And then you've had a bunch of returns. Like, Sting's gone, Daniel Bryan's gone, Bryan Danielson.
He's gone.
Yeah, he's not full time anymore. Yeah.
Okay. Continue. Sorry.
What's his name that they signed from New Japan Pro Wrestling? Okada.
Yeah, Okada's there.
He's managed to. Has he done anything in AEW to be like a comedy act?
He's been sitting backstage going, bitch. I'm just like,
we're just like, what are we doing with that? Well, carry on, but that is
another generational talent. And then you've got all of the things going on with like Ricky Stark, where he's not allowed. They're not allowing him on TV, and he's just sitting at home. There's another wrestler, I can't remember what his name is. He's a luchador. He's injured right now. They won't release
Phoenix
him.
or something like that. Phoenix or something.
Yeah. He wants to go to WWE or he wants to leave AEW. They've extended his contract by another year. I know that businesses do shady things with contracts, but the entire AEW product is so hard to watch. You got that big baby boom, the Subway people or the Costco people, whatever they were, and coming out doing these stupid social media dances. They're getting in the ring and dancing. I'm like, who is this for? Who is watching AEW? AEW is such it's dog shit. I'm sorry, there's no other way to put it. Eric Bischoff was completely right, and this is coming from somebody that tuned in and I watched consistently. I was like, okay, let's see if they do something. The only thing that I can thank AEW for is pushing WWE to do better. Because ever since they came on the scene, WWE seems to be like, okay, let's step up NXT, let's step up our Raw and SmackDowns. So that's the only thing. But at this rate, under Tony Khan's Tony Khan like steering the helm, they're going to go down. They might have outlived WCW, but WCW for the short time that it was beating Raw and SmackDown in the ratings relative to how long it existed was infinitely more entertaining than AEW. I'm sorry, but jumping off the ropes constantly takes me out of it. Like it's a circus act. It was special when Logan Paul and Ricochet jumped at each other in the Royal Rumble. That's like a clippable moment. You watch it back all the time. But AEW, that's every day. Every day.
They don't seem to believe in psychology as much as they could/should. And in terms
Every
of
match for them wants
in
to be
terms of
special.
protecting their guys, they don't seem to do that. If we remember, like the Matt Hardy incident as well, and it's not that there's not been many. There's been a good few where there's been like, whoa, that's a scary moment. Like, why is he continuing the match? Like, what are we doing?
What's the Matt Hardy incident?
Oh, okay. So basically, there was a table spot that went wrong. And despite the fact that he was clearly out of it, like he had no business continuing that particular match, they were still continuing with it. And it was just like, bro, he is clearly concussed. Like, again, I don't have to be a medical expert to say anything. Like,
who was Matt wrestling?
Oh, that's Sammy Guevara, was it? Was it him?
It sounds about right. I mean, he's another one.
Right. I think it was him, but basically, all right. So basically, Stamp, imagine this, okay? He was
Matt
supposed
the one who was
to hit
injured?
the table. He was supposed to hit the table. He didn't go through the table. He went smack. He literally missed the table. Completely smacked his head on concrete. The table did not break his fall at all, and the match is still going on. And I'm thinking, like, really, bro? Like, do you know how you're saying things about taking you out of the match? I don't feel as strongly towards AEW because I don't watch it. Like, I'll be honest. The only thing I'm really grateful for in recent time is someone like Toni Storm getting the time she deserved. Like, that's something great that AEW have done at recent time for me. I'm happy about that. I liked
Toni Storm. Yeah,
Toni Storm was a missed opportunity by WWE 100%. I don't even care what anyone tells me about that.
I liked her.
They dropped her hard on that one. But in terms of lack of psychology, in terms of other stuff that they have their wrestlers doing, but it's so dangerous, but it's so plentiful. It's like, space it out, make it mean more. Yeah, I do agree with that. It's hard to not agree with it, but
what you just pulled up, Mike, was that the spot?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't play obviously copyright reasons, but basically they're on like a scaffolding, almost like a pillar, and they fall backwards, and Matt just completely misses the table, and he looks dead. And you're sitting there, and the referee's looking at him. I'm like, stop the match, man. Like, Matt's old as well.
It was genuinely bad. Like, you don't have to be like, you don't have to be a tribalist to be like, listen, bro, like, that's bad. Like, do something. Do something.
Okay.
Oh, and another thing. I love how the most relevant clips of AEW is whenever their wrestlers are saying something negative about WWE. Every single look for
boring.
I do like MJF. I like MJF. I think he'd be so much better off in WWE than AEW. I don't like what he's doing as much now. It's kind of taken me out of like they turned him face and his hair wasn't face. It was like whatever, but every single time he got a massive pop, it was like a dig at The Miz, a dig at John Cena, a dig at CM Punk. It was like they live rent free in your head.
It's not even just him either. It's like you've got multiple people who do it on a regular basis, and it's like, do something else. At this point, all you're freely doing is advertising the other company, whereas the other company doesn't even want to acknowledge you. Why do you keep giving them free press? It is boring. It's so played out. And again, this is coming like, yes, I'm more of a WWE watcher, clearly, but there are things and individual wrestlers that I will still at least try and keep an eye on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just saying, like, why do you lot keep talking about the competition that you desperately want to try and overcome in your own way? Well, no, they don't. They just keep talking about them, and it's just like boring.
Yeah,
Move
and
on.
even some of the spot, like I like Mina Shirakawa, right? I think she's awesome, but some of the stuff that they've been doing recently, it's like, okay, everyone likes arse and titties, but like, can we wrestle? Is it possible to wrestle? Is it we're just gonna twerk all day? And even the thing with Jack Perry, them airing what CM Punk did on live TV was the stupidest thing they could have done because they validated everything CM Punk said.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm not even a CM Punk fan, but I'm like, way to shoot yourselves in the foot. Why would you? Yeah.
Fine. Then let's have a closing note. My closing note is I wish WWE hadn't fumbled the bag with Undisputed Era. I wish those four in Raw and SmackDown, without not under Vince's control, but under the control it is today, that would have been nuclear top.
Actually, what is going on with Chuck / Adam Cole anyway? I know he's there, but is he injured or like what's going on?
I have no idea. AEW's so all over the place. It's very hard to keep track with because they don't follow things through consistently. They kind of just like, here's a 5-star match on TV and then nothing happens. And in terms of Undisputed and what you're saying, I was never a fan. I know really? It's an unpopular opinion. I was never a fan of not that any of them were bad wrestlers. I've seen Adam Cole's matches, fantastic wrestling, but the team itself, I was never sold on them dominating the WWE. I was just sort of like
Undisputed Era, man. Like, okay, you know, yeah.
You know, I'm gonna be a little bit of a what's the word? I'm gonna sound like a bit of an old head here when I say this, and this is not like a man. I don't want to come across as like a body shaming thing or anything like that. But when I'm watching wrestlers, they do have to have some level of build or physical build for me to find them believable to be dominating. And I just didn't get that from the Undisputed Era. I felt like they were very good wrestlers, but I never felt like they were going to go all the way over.
I couldn't see Adam Cole beating a Roman Reigns when you compare physiques. I agree with that. I couldn't see Adam Cole beating a Drew McIntyre in terms of physiques. I get that. But in terms of how I want to say slimy Undisputed Era will be with them, all right, boys, get in here, jump him now. I'm like, okay, I believe it. And I would have used
that. They would have been like Judgment Day for me. The original Judgment Day. Minus Drew, minus with more oral, I don't know. The original Judgment Day they were pretty sick.
Okay, we'll agree to disagree. Oh, you listen, everyone here, you're going to start to hate me saying that all the time. Me and him are going to agree to disagree on a lot of things. And one day I might say, no, fuck that, man.
Yeah, when it becomes more powerful enough, like I can see me and Mike having words about certain things eventually, I'm sure. But
I'm used to it. I'm used to being public enemy number one. I do want to say,
but we might find something. Like, hold on, I totally disagree with this, but we'll see if we get it one day.
I do want to say though, because of the year's closing out, he's not going to be here. Bronson Reed is my superstar of the year. I think he's done so many cool things this year. He's unfortunately injured. He's going to miss WrestleMania apparently.
Oh, it's that bad.
It's that bad. Like I saw a post today saying that Bronson Reed is going to be missing WrestleMania. But I do want to say that when they started to push him, I was very much like, nah, I'm not into this, man. Get him off my TV. And for you guys know how stubborn I am. You know, I'm not one of those people that I'm going to give it a chance. I immediately write things off. And
I was going to give him a chance. Yeah.
This is with wrestling, not with other things. But with wrestling, when I look at certain wrestlers, I'm like, not interested. And they kept putting him on TV, and I kept watching. I was like, he kept doing the tsunamis. And I was like, then he joined the Bloodline. So he's
putting him up against Bronson. I really enjoyed. I felt those two, like, I feel bad for Braun in a sense, but at the same time, like, it's a believable matchup in one thing. Then they had it going for a consistent amount of time, and it made you care. You know, like you've just got big two dudes who are willing to do more than just big heavy whole things. They're doing so much. They're doing a lot, but they're making it count at the same time. And then they're having to revisit it time and time again. Like I'm like, no, you know, okay, no, this guy's cool. Like I like it a lot.
And they put him in very, very believable places, like places that I wanted to see him, like the Monster Clash. I was like, yeah, I would watch this. Like he looks like a monster, so does Braun. But for me, for a wrestler to make me do a 180 and be like, I want to see them on my TV screen, he has to be my superstar of the year. He went from zero to hero for me.
Right. So now he's right. Before I go to ask Jay Miller his superstar of the year, me again. There's a splash. There's obviously the tsunami that you can just splash on someone, bam. But it's the whole shaking of the arms, like this is gonna hurt, boom, and over and over.
And he does it one-legged as well.
Yeah. Boom. All right. So okay, fine. Out of Bronson Reed 2, Jay. Mike's obviously thrown it out there. Superstar of the year. We are coming up to the end of 2024. Does anyone immediately spring to mind, or if not one person, who would be in the conversation for you?
Gosh. I hate to say it. I feel like my mind's gone blank. Bronson's definitely made a great case for himself. Jay's made a great name for himself, obviously, but I mean, I guess that was even before 2024 at this point.
WrestleMania was this year. Jay's had a standout year for me, so I agree with you there. Bronson, I'm not mad at that. Drew McIntyre, I'm not mad at. He's had a lot.
McIntyre is definitely up there for me. Yeah.
Oh, there's. I mean, it's a work of art.
He was consistent even before 2024, but he's Drew. You know what? Drew. That's it. Drew. Yeah, Drew. It's Drew for me.
Fancy said it. Drew, I'm not mad at that. Drew or Bronson Reed, and maybe Drew simply because of the storylines Drew has been just the WrestleMania.
Hail the year. The stuff in January was amazing. Like, no, you're Drew. I'll give it to Drew.
Kevin Owens?
No, bit late for me.
But the reason that
consistent as always, but
the reason that I would give it to Bronson over Drew is because Drew has for quite some time now been really good. Ever since the pandemic era, he's been consistently good. Obviously, with CM Punk coming back, they've stepped it up. But the step up from Bronson Reed from where he started to where he is today it's been insane. I remember speaking to people and people like, I don't want to see this guy on my TV. And I was of that same sentiment. I was like, why are they putting him against Seth? Seth's a world champion. Why are they putting him against Braun? Braun's a world champion. Like, what are they doing? And for him to win me over in that fashion, and then to see how he wrestles as well, because he's agile as fuck and he's that size. And then I watched him on Chris Van Ville's YouTube channel, his interview, and I was like, he's actually a really likable guy as well. It looks like most people like him backstage, and then seeing how he integrated the Bloodline, I was like, that was a seamless integration. It didn't feel forced. It didn't feel out of place. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, this guy deserves it. I think he should win it.
Damn, you put forward a very good point, because I can't think of anyone who this year started out, not as in the spotlight and has just absolutely taken the ball and gone running with it. Just shit, I can't think of what I've said,
but I don't disagree with anything you've said.
Yeah,
another one doing what he's done is amazing. Like, he's absolutely. If he won it, I wouldn't be upset.
Yeah, another one that I think is I wouldn't give him Superstar of the Year, but I would say he's had a pretty standout year is LA Knight. I think he's done a lot of cool shit. I think he's fumbled in a couple places. He's recovered nicely in most of the time. He's recovered. Was AJ and LA Knight this year?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. That was a very good rivalry. He's been great on the mic. He's been great like outside of the ring. So he would be a contender for me, but I would say, yeah, Bronson. Bronson's a pretty confident pick for me.
I've got one last question, then we'll say our goodbyes, right?
Yeah.
Standout PLE for you for this year. I know what mine is immediately, but for you, what has been your favorite PLE of the year? Premium live event, for those of you who don't know what that stands for.
Standout PLE. Oh, I mean, it's got to be WrestleMania.
Pretty easy, I guess.
Yeah, it has to be. WrestleMania was insane. I'd go as far as to say that's probably, in terms of a main event and everything coming together, and the way they connected night 1 to night 2, with all of these different wrestlers and the branching past and the connecting stories. Yeah, it's got to be WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's an easy one for Mania.
I will share my answer with you. Backlash. France. That crowd was electric from start to finish. That crowd is the reason now why every other event is now trying to match the energy. Like,
I'll give you that.
That whole stupid sound decibel thing they put on the screen to, make people be a bit louder because of Backlash. That speaks volumes to me. That crowd, best of all time.
Oh yeah. But that's in terms of the crowd. Yes, I think all of us are in agreement that American crowds are just like, yeah, okay, whatever.
What?
Yes.
What?
It's because they're used to it.
I don't give a crap. But I agree with that. I would still say Mania 3. I'm not gonna lie about that. I still say Mania 3. But in terms of whenever we go overseas, the crowds are better. But that's been long time known. That's like that.
Yeah,
No, that's the main
always been
one,
better.
right?
Yeah.
It's I wonder if how that would have made AJ feel once he actually understood what they were even saying. Because obviously at first he wouldn't know what they were saying, right? But you get the hard cam, you get the moment itself, you get the chant, and they're just fully less loving him up. He's the heel, bro. He's the heel, and like
doesn't matter. He's AJ stuff.
They are loving him up, and I'm like, I'm glad he had that moment. And again, it's like you have to go back. He has to go back and appreciate it because, like, he couldn't understand what the hell they were saying. And then 2, he's the heel, so even if he did understand what they were saying, he can't. Actually, well, who knows? Maybe he did because
I feel like going back and watching that match, Cody versus AJ, and that crowd being behind. Just every match I cared about because it really showed to me how much a crowd can make in even a little match just be cool and be awesome, and everyone loved it and fed off it. And I feel like everyone came out of that thinking, you know what, this wrestling thing, if I had to turn around and tell you why I do this wrestling thing, it's because of that coming out to that.
We kind of knew that with Rock and Hogan though, because Rock and Hogan at Mania was not a good match, but the crowd made that match good.
Yes,
and then it made the special moments in that match that much better. But the match itself was. It was like
when Hogan started to hulk up and the crowd was going crazy. I was like, I'm going crazy too. They're hyping up. I'm hyping up. So yeah.
So the crowds can change moments. I think like Bad Bunny coming out and the Venezuelan crowd all singing along to his theme. That's one of the greatest entrances that I've seen. I don't think that was this year. I think that was last year because Damian Priest was still in Judgment Day and he was still like he wasn't even the world title picture at that point. So it's pretty sure it was last year. But that entrance, I think wrestlers kill to have entrances like that. That was insane. I didn't even like that song, and they made me like the song. I put it in my gym playlist.
Same. I've never cared against Bad Bunny. I've never really listened, and I was just like, oh, all right, Damien versus Bad Bunny. And when the crowd like, I was like, oh shit, okay, I'm going to start caring. So it's kind of like almost hypnotic, where if the majority of a crowd gets behind something, it kind of washes over whatever your previous feelings were, and so like maybe I should care about this a bit more. That's a good feeling.
Yeah, because on the flip side, there's some awesome matches and awesome segments where the crowds are dead, and you're sitting there like, how are you guys dead for this? American crowds, I think, because they're so used to having the WWE there, they're just like, it's like we see them every other week. But for us, we don't get them to come over here. Like Money in the Bank, right? I was at Money in the Bank. That crowd was insane. Like they were going ballistic. So I was like, yeah, no, they need to come over. They need to do WrestleMania here. WrestleMania in London would be. I think we'll get it.
I hope it's not like 10 years from now, but yeah, I know they are clearly looking at it. It's just when.
I'm going to wager next 5 years.
I'm not going to hold my breath on it, but
we'll see.
I tried to buy tickets for Clash at the Castle in Scotland, and well, them prices were crazy. But again, once they come over,
WrestleMania is going to be a whole different story. Good lord,
you have to take out a mortgage and sell part of your body to go there. But you know, if it's WrestleMania in London, you have to go. The international crowds have been super hyped these past couple of years. Yeah,
they're just consistently strong. Consistently, so not even a couple of years at this point. It's just international crowds they just care more. Their chants aren't crap. Basically, and whenever they're overseas, I look forward to the show a lot more.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
All right, Have you got any further pressing matters you wish to address while we have the opportunity? Final moments. Jay Miller, let me go. Jay Miller, let me go with you first. Have you got anything?
Nothing of sincere pressing note, I don't think. No, I'm good.
Fine. Mike, have you got anything? Oh, he's got something.
Last thing to go over. Not really. I think we covered pretty much everything that we wanted to cover. I don't think we've actually missed anything out. So, yeah, I'm just excited to see where they go with Seth Rollins. I think, again, he's justified. Well, he's less justified than Drew. He's the one that created the Roman monster. You know, he's talking all this shit. But I get where he's coming from with Sammy. So it's interesting to see where they go with him. I do like the fact that WWE are not just doing conventional heels and faces anymore, and it's more like there's justifiable reasons. They're like, what do they call them, tweeners or whatever. And I'm excited to see where they go. This Triple H seems to be very, very switched on in terms of where he wants to take stories. I'm all for the long-term storytelling. I'm so glad we're done with the days where Vince McMahon is just making snap judgments, and it's like, oh, you're going over tonight, and everyone's like, what, why? And those seem to be long gone. So I'm looking forward to Shinsuke the most because when he got signed to WWE, I was so excited, and then they pushed him for a bit. He won the Royal Rumble, and it all went down the drain. Yeah. So Shinsuke is what I'm looking at right now. But yeah, I can't say I'm excited for the Netflix era. That's going to be really exciting for wrestling fans. But that's about it.
Okay, I've got no other further pressing topics to bring up. Those of you looking in the background, watching a replay, thank you for joining us on the first episode of The Nation of Conversation with Jay Miller, co-host, Mike Hollow, God Emperor, aka co-host. Please bear with us. This is obviously early days. We're getting, we're trying things out, seeing how they fit, if they, stick to the wall, trying to find our chemistry. As time goes by, this will continue. We'll try and turn this into something bigger and look forward to the future. We'll leave it at that. Thank you,
guys.
everyone.
Take care. Thanks for watching.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Take care.